Hi everybody, it's Kerrie here at the Northeast Autism Society, and I am joined this week again by Tony and Danny from the Life Science Centre. And you'll notice that this week we've got our festive hats and our festive jumpers on because it's getting into the festive season and it's nearly Christmas. So we wanted to show you a little bit of a science activity with a festive twist. So Danny, could you tell us what we're going to be doing today?
As we're heading into December, like you say, and we're getting our festive decorations up, we thought we might come up with a decoration that is festive, but also uses a little bit of science as well.
Ooh.
Oh, he's nice. He's a cute little elf.
How is he balancing? He's just balancing on your finger.
Yeah, so I just kind of rock him a little bit and he stays balancing. So why don't we make an elf of our own, and then we can explore how to make it and how to get it to balance. For this activity, you will need a pencil or pen for drawing.
Yep.
Some scissors.
Yep.
Some blue tack.
Got some blue tack.
A couple of small coins. I've got 2 pennies.
Pennies here too.
And some card. I'm using card from a cereal box that I've chopped a side off of.
I've got some craft card that I found in my craft cupboard.
Great. So yeah, any kind of card that you have lying around should be good. And then you want to draw your elf onto your card.
Okay, so can you just draw the elf any shape you like, or is there anything in particular that we need to be careful about here?
That is a good question. Let's have another look at this elf. So the important thing is the pose it's in. So it's doing this handstand pose. Yeah, it's got its arms stretched out and it's got its legs stretched out. It looks kind of like a letter X. And that is going to be important for helping it balance later. So yeah, you definitely want to do something like that. And if you try and do its arms and legs so they're a little bit thicker as well, because if they're really spindly, again, that might affect how it balances too.
They might tear as well once you have the heavy coins in them. So I guess being a little bit chunkier is a good thing. And Danny, you've also made a template, haven't you? So that if you're not as confident drawing, you could print out the template. So I've got an elf just like Danny's here, and I'm just going to have to cut round that now.
Exactly, yeah. So you can try and draw your own, or like you say, if you would rather, we have that one to print off. But either way, when you're done, you'll have the outline of an elf. And your next step is
I guess you've made a bit, you've been careful about having a little point where it balances as well.
Yeah, so mine balances on its chin, and I've just done a little bump just there, so yeah, you can kind of remember where that point is. Yeah, that's another good detail to pay attention to. Once you've drawn your elf, your next step is to cut it out.
And I suppose some people might need help with this bit, Danny, if scissors are a little bit tricky. So
Exactly,
might have to get a grown-up to help at this point as well.
Yeah, if you need help with this step, definitely ask. And also the card, especially if you're doing it on the thicker cereal box card, it can be a little tricky to cut out. So even if you are doing it yourself, just take your time and be careful in all those little bits, those kind of little fiddly bits between its legs and its arms and things like that. Once you've cut out as well, you might want to think about decorating your elf. So the one that I've been showing off is being coloured in. So he's all very festive looking, got stripy socks and things like that. But you can colour it in however you like, whatever colours you want. You can use pens to draw extra bits on as well.
Some nice sparkly pens would be good, I think, as well. If we
Yeah.
want to put some sparkle on
Definitely.
that would be very festive.
I wouldn't stick anything to it
Mhm.
because that might affect how it balances. But yeah, if you've got any pens that do cool effects like sparkly pens and things like that, that would definitely be a good touch. So, okay. So here we are. And like I say, you can take your time and make yours look a lot neater and a lot more festive. But this does show you kind of what it'll look like once it's all cut out. And then we need to figure out how we're going to make it balanced. Because if you take the one we have here, it just falls off your finger.
How can we make it balanced, Danny?
Well, this is where our blue tack and our coins come in. So you need to take a bit of blue tack. It doesn't have to be a big amount, maybe this kind of size, a little bit, and then stick that to one of your pennies and put the penny on the elf's hand. And then do the same thing to the elf's other hand. So again, the more blue tack you add, the more weight you're adding to your elf. So I've gone for as small as will help. And then your elf balances a lot better. It still might not be perfectly balanced, so you can play with where the coins are, move them further up or down the hands. But eventually, with a little bit of fiddling, a little bit of experimenting, you'll get an elf that balances pretty well.
I think I need to keep experimenting.
Tony, your elf was a little bit wobbly then, so I think you need to start experimenting again, isn't it? Because a lot of this is trial and error, isn't it? See, just having a go and see what happens. Oh, Danny, yours is balanced.
Yeah, so my coins are really quite low down. They're almost falling off of its hands. And that was the point I needed to get mine to balance.
I wonder, because I made my elf bigger, I wonder if I need bigger coins. So perhaps if I use some 2p's, that might work well.
I hadn't noticed that yours, yours was maybe about twice as big as mine is. Yeah. So exactly, yeah.
You could try different sizes, couldn't you then? Different size elves and see which one's balanced.
Yeah, so yeah, you're right, Tony. You might need bigger coins or maybe a couple of extra coins, but eventually you will find some way of making it balance.
Oh, getting better.
Getting there.
2p's.
Yeah. Yours just likes doing flips, and that's okay.
So Danny, you've got your elf balanced on your finger, but can you try and, is there a way you can try and balance it on things around the house? That would be quite fun, wouldn't it?
Oh, definitely. I mean, even just sitting here, I could try and balance it on a pencil.
Ah, that's fun.
Not bad. But we could also try and balance it in some other places around the house.
So why does it balance? Why do the pennies make it balance?
That is a good question. Let's start by thinking about balancing this pencil. So there we go. This pencil's balancing, and the middle bit, the bit that's balancing on my finger, is about halfway along the length of the pencil. And we call this place where it rests its center of mass. But the elf is a much more complicated shape. And so it's harder to tell where its center of mass would be. And it's definitely not right in the middle of the elf, like it was right in the middle of the pencil. Because these two pennies are at the bottom of it, there's a lot more mass in the bottom half of the elf, and so its whole center of mass is further down than you might think at the start, and it is in fact just under the chin, which is why that is the point where it balances. Whereas if I was to put it, say, this way, or try it
More tumbling
sideways,
tricks.
yeah, so any other way, even though I'm in places that are about halfway along, it's only at this point where its center of mass is that it will balance.
That's really cool.
That's really cool, Danny. And I think what would be really interesting is if some of our young people tried this at home, and I think see where they can balance it as well around the house. That would be quite cool, wouldn't it? And if they do, if they could send us some pictures and videos, we'd love to see that. And also decorating your elf differently as well. That would be quite cool. Well, Danny and Tony, thank you so much for showing us that activity. Like I say, if you do try it at home, send us your pictures and we'll see you all very soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.